Same thing, routine in the morning. Grew up too fast without warning. And when it rains, it's pouring. I got dreams, big dreams. I wanna do big things, but I just can't seem to put it all together. I just wanna be seen. I'm jumping ship, I'ma dive in. Middle of the ocean, swimming till I find it. I see an island out ahead, filled with things that I've wanted since I was a kid. Swim through it.
Hey. What's up, True Texan? What's up, Ashley Marie? Take to Doc Forge or whatever. Sly. Where is everyone? I cannot stop thinking about this case. Hey, Smink Kitten. For those of you that watched the movie with us last night, the documentary, I was in awe. But even worse, I can't stop thinking about it today. I watched all the interrogations last night. Hey, Suzanne. I went through like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. I'm doing candles and listening to interrogations. And then today I'm looking for stuff on it. I am just in awe. Is anyone in here not familiar with the case at all? Yeah, I was looking for different documentaries and I couldn't find any, but I know they're out there. But I am just in awe. And I can't believe that these lowlifes are not in prison. I mean, they've been arrested for other stuff, but not for what they did to her. It's insane. I'm still in awe. I'm like, how does this even happen? Yeah, I'm gonna get into the case once more people get in here, Smitten. I have all my notes and the movie was called Goodbye Sugar Babe, which sounds like a nice title, but then you find out why the title, like, not too many cases affect me, and not too many cases am I like, whoa, like, how, why? But these people are like the biggest scum of the earth. Hey, Chrissy. The biggest scum of the earth. And I can't even believe that they're not in prison. Like, they're toothless, they're broke, they have no money, they're total lowlifes, and yet they're running around free. And I mean, I would say like it was a different time back then. I don't do John Crimes. I wouldn't watch John Crimes. John Crimes spends more time in front of a camera talking, making himself look good rather than the case. So, no thanks. Yeah, Craig's wifey, be prepared because it's probably the most vile case I've ever covered. It's bad. And how these people get away with what they got away with, I don't know. Hey, Crystal, I just don't know. But I'm telling you, I've looked into everything today. I was trying to find just everything. It's one of those cases that I want answers. I want to know why so many of them got away with what they got away with. Why aren't they in jail for molesting children? And I understand that it's a different time, but it's not that big of a difference. We're only talking 2013. Hey, Jane, the name of the movie is Goodbye, Sugar Babe. I mean, just to give you an idea, let me show you what this bitch looks like. Just to give you an idea. That's what she looks like. This woman right here gets a free pass for everything she's done. And I'm going to explain all that. Hey, Cinnamon. She gets a free pass. She's the most vile fucking creature I've ever seen in my entire life. This toothless, obese, disgusting psychopath who everyone believes is like Charles Manson. They compare her to Charles Manson. And yet she's walking free. I don't know. Wait till you guys hear all the shit she's done. It's mind-blowing. So you know what? While I'm waiting for more people, let me show you the characters of them. Hold on. Because I pulled this up. So these are like all the players involved. So you know who I'm talking about when I go through the story? Yeah, but see, oh, she passed away? Are you sure? Because I haven't read anything that she passed away. Oh, she died? Good. I hope she's burning in hell. Still, the other ones should all be in jail too. I'm glad she's dead. I know, Jiggy. I got it. Thank you. All right. So let me just show you the players involved. This is Michael Brooks, her son. Shannon, his wife. Whether they're still married or not, I don't know. But here's another son, Chucky. And one thing I noticed about them, they're all like 5'5". They're all tiny. Here's Scotty, Sherry's oldest son. Like even him, he's only like 5'5". Kevin, her husband, and father of Punky, Zach, Garth, and Chucky. Zachary Brooks, who is the father of the daughter that he had with the girl that was murdered, which is Vera. And he was there the night she was killed, but for some reason, that didn't matter. It didn't matter. He never got charged. Here's Nicole. This girl is as psycho as the other one. And Danny, these two were the only two charged for Vera's murder. Now, I read that he's now married, but they don't know if he's married to her. He was arrested 1 month before he got married, but there's no proof that they're married to each other. And here's the wonderful lady who caused all the pain, who's now in prison. I mean, who's now dead. And then this is the little girl that it was all. But I got to tell you the story so you understand. Fucking crazy. That's one state I would never live in is Ohio. Hell to the no. All right. Well, so now you guys at least get a vision of what I'm about to talk about. So Vera met Zach. Well, let me back up. Vera Jo was a 19-year-old girl who met a 13-year-old boy who lived in the neighborhood, just like a couple of houses down from her. She, according to everybody, she has the intellectual ability of like an 8-year-old, even at 19. So physically, she's 19, but mentally, she's like 8 to 10. Well, she started dating Zach, who's 13. Zach also has disabilities. She was born in 1986 as Vera Jo Reigle. She experienced trauma childhood. She was sexually abused by her father, who started abusing her at around 11. And thankfully, motherfucker got a 20-year sentence. Thank God. She had ADHD, and she had like the mind of an 8 to 12-year-old, but she was very loving. She was very caring. She went out of her way to help someone. There was no reason for people to take advantage of her, but they did. She met Brooks. Again, they lived on the same street, a couple of blocks away from each other. They started a friendship, which then turned sexual. Zachary's mom, Sherry Lynn, I call her Satan, like a typical psychopath, love bombed Vera. She was the greatest person in the world. Come live with me. Come live with us. Nobody knew, especially Vera. Nobody knew she had an ulterior motive. All she wanted from Vera was a baby. She wanted Vera to have a baby. Sherry was known around Finley as Sugar Babe. How'd she get that name? It was given to her by her father, and because she sold methamphetamine. But the thing is, methamphetamine is not known as sugar. Cocaine is. So I don't know why people or why articles are saying that it was methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is not really known as sugar, but whatever. So her father gave her that name. She was manipulative. She was a compulsive liar. I just don't know why anybody took it seriously. I mean, you try to manipulate me and you don't even have your teeth? Nah, sorry. Sherry, it's called ICE. Just to give you a little background on Sherry. Sherry was in foster care at age 3 after the state learned that her father had sexually abused her. She returned to her mom's care 13 years later when her mom finally split from her dad. A little while later, Sherry began a sexual relationship with her cousin, Danny. The family knew about the incestuous relationship and had no problem with it. They said, oh, they're the kissing cousins. 1981, Sherry and Daniel became parents of a baby boy named Scotty. Months later, they were accused of sexually abusing Scotty. He was removed and placed in care of her mother, which personally I don't think is much better. But now I want you to keep track of all the children that she has lost in this short time. That was 1981. Now go to 1982. Sherry married Mike Mahoney, delivered her second child, Joshua. A year later, state opened a case after Scotty's birth due to prior allegations against him. November of 1983, Mike lost his temper with Joshua, smacked him, and tossed him on the couch. Joshua was removed from custody and placed into foster care. Sherry then delivered Michael Jr. in 1984. She lost custody of him within weeks after allegations of sexual abuse were reported to Children's Services. She delivered She then, in 1986, delivered her first daughter, Maria, lost custody of her shortly before Easter due to allegations of sexual abuse. Now, they're not just allegations, though. Maria was rushed to the ER with severe bleeding from her vagina. She was allowed to go home with Sherry, although the state removed the child from her custody when she failed to take it to the doctor the next day. If a child, a baby who's not in daycare or around other parents, I understand it was the 80s. I get it was a different time. But were doctors dumb back then? Did they have like this stupid thing on their forehead? How in the world did you send him back home? Where did you think the baby got hurt? And she has a whole history of it. It's fucking crazy. Family said Sherry was never the same after losing Maria, although she replaced her with another child, a girl named Sherry, in 1987. Yes, she named her child after herself. Within 6 months, there were allegations of sexual abuse against the child, and Sherry was removed the home from adopted. So all the time, like, we hear about CPS failing families, the cops failing families. I have never come across a case that kids were failed so bad than this case. Every single one of these kids should have been taken at birth, not after something happened to them, taken at birth. Sherry then had an affair, and had a baby named Kevin Jr. in 1993. She divorced Mike and married Kevin Brooks. In June of 1992, Sherry delivered Zachary, Garth in 1993, and her ninth and final child was Chucky in 1994. Yeah. She maintained custody of the kids she shared with Brooks, although she remained grief-stricken over the loss of her precious Maria. She wanted a baby girl and would do anything to have one. Okay. Hey. Here comes Vera. They started dating in 2006 under Sherry's watch. Sherry began treating Vera horribly after she moved into the house. She told Vera that her mother hated her and forced her to sign over her monthly Social Security disability payments to her. Every live, it doesn't stop. Every fucking time I go live, this dog starts barking. Every time, without fail. He doesn't bark all day. When Vera became pregnant, oh my God. Stop. When Vera fell pregnant, Sherry chose Willadine as the baby's name and convinced Zachary to sign custody papers over to her. Convincing Vera would prove to be much more difficult. Vera delivered Willadine 6 weeks early. But why did she deliver her 6 weeks early? Because this psycho bitch made her drink castor oil. And I don't mean like one shot. Made her drink 3 fucking bottles. Hold on, let me get them bones. 3 fucking bottles of castor oil. That could kill you. Winston, why do you bark the second I go live? Why? That you hear the music and you start barking. You're unbelievable. All right. I got some bones. Maybe he'll be quiet. So, and the reason why that Psycho wanted her to deliver early is because she wanted her to have the same birthday. Last time I checked, it's not your child, but she wanted her to have the same birthday. Sherry became upset when the nurses handed the baby to the mother, and she ordered them to give the baby to her. After Willadine came home, I don't know where she got the name Willadine. After Willadine came home from the hospital, Vera tried to be a good mom. She loved her baby from the depths of her soul. Problem was, Sherry would not allow it. In her mind, Willadine was her baby. Sherry cared for Willadine, occasionally allowing Vera to see or hold her. The beatings got worse. She threatened to kill her baby if she threatened to kill Willadine if Vera disobeyed her. So people are people are talking about why didn't she go to the police? Why didn't she? Police were there a lot. But what happened was they never took her outside of Sherry's presence. So every single time the police questioned her, she did it right in front of Sherry. I wouldn't say anything either. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say anything. And she was very afraid that she was going to get killed. Kevin Jr., which was her son, died on August 5th of 2010. He was struck by a car. Him and his girlfriend walking down the road. Allegedly, nobody pushed him, and he was just in a car. He just got hit by a car. But Sherry didn't believe that. Sherry just had to have it. I can't rechat and do this. It's too much. So I'm gonna hold on. All right. Meanwhile, family members who witnessed. Now, let me also add that she didn't just have she wasn't just sexually abused by her father. After she became a young adult, she went back to her father and had sex with him. She was having a sexual relationship with him after she was already married. I mean, she married young, but after she was married, that's how much psycho she was. That's how much she enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say, but I've never heard of somebody going back as an adult. So meanwhile, all these family members that I showed you all witnessed Vera getting the shit kicked out of her all the time. They saw the violence. They knew that she was sleeping in a closet with pigs in the house. They used buckets to go to the bathroom. During the interrogation of Shannon, she says how they would stick a toothbrush up Vera's butt and then make her brush her teeth with it. Well, guess what, Shannon? If you knew about it, then you should have done something. The fact that you did nothing just further proves your ass should be locked up for life. And I really feel sorry if you have any children of your own. They literally treated the pig in the house better than they treated her. Like, no joke. Pigs living in the house, family using buckets to go to the bathroom. And trust me when I tell you, you don't want to see these people using buckets. They had no running water in the trailer. The trailer was disgusting. State officials did not even intervene and remove Willadine or initiate any concern about abuse with a mentally incapacitated adult. Sherry lost interest in Willadine in early 2011. She wanted another baby girl and Vera out of the house. She refused Vera food, allowing her to eat only leftovers from her kids once they were done. Vera grabbed a Kit Kat bar from the mantle. The candy bar Sherry had placed there 3 months earlier to honor Kevin. And Gina, who was a teenager who once lived with the Brooks, saw Vera eat the candy bar and told Sherry. Oh, that's all she needed to know. Now, she lost interest in Willadine because she only liked innocent baby stage. She didn't like, once she turned like 1, she wanted no part of it. She was like that with all the kids. I'm going to get to Sherry's story after. But Vera was forced to sleep in a closet with the kids, forced to eat her own feces, blood, trash out of the garbage, decided it was just time for Vera to die. Sherry's cousin, Danny, the son of the cousin who she had been sexually involved with and bore a child, was on the run from the law. And of course, where would you go? Move into Sherry's house. So him and his girlfriend, Nicole. Daniel had been released from prison 3 weeks earlier, but already got in trouble and had a warrant out for his arrest. Danny and Heather took it upon themselves to beat and torture Vera. Nicole literally got sexually excited when she beat Vera. She would sometimes stop beating Vera just to have sex with Danny. Yeah, no joke. That's how fucked up all these people are. She literally got off. Like it sexually excited her. Sherry jokingly said they should drug Vera with sleeping pills and force her to lie down on the train tracks near her house. The train would not see her and crush her into smithereens. Then she told Zach and Danny and Heather that it had been Vera who pushed Kevin in front of the car that horrible night. Vera was not even anywhere near him to push him. It was all just a blatant lie, and they all ran with it. So that got the boys so mad that now they're going to devise a plan to kill her. They didn't just torture her, though. I mean, they didn't just kill her. They tortured her for 3 days. They thought about all the things they were going to do. They brutally beat her. Like she had almost every single broken bone in her face, in her body. They sexually assaulted her with the toothbrush. She was bruised. She was battered. She was unable to walk. They say that she endured more abuse when she was forced into the bathroom by Danny and Nicole and stabbed in her leg. It turned Nicole on, and she stuck her finger in Vera's wounds. Same day, Chucky and others forced Vera to eat dog feces, trash from the garbage. I mean, just think about that, though. This girl has all these cuts, and you're just sticking your finger in it. Whoa. On March 26, Danny, Zach, Nicole, and Chucky took turns stabbing Vera with a knife. For some reason, as each person was involved has a different version of events, obviously, the outcome is the same, though. Vera died in a horrific death. In Danny and Nicole's version of events, they forced Vera to take a walk with them. Despite her reluctance to leave the house, Vera did as told, put on her shoes, and walked out the door, saying to Sherry, as she shut the door, "Good night, sugar babe." They pulled up. They walked Vera to the train tracks near their house, where they repeatedly stabbed her until the knife became so dull it would no longer cut through her clothing. Now, mind you, they try to cut her from one side of her neck to the other. They literally try to cut her head off, and they couldn't. When Vera stopped fighting back, they forced her to lie down sideways on the track. Danny and Nicole walked off, leaving Vera to die on the track. Around 2 a.m., a train headed towards Vera. Conductor thought a deer carcass was laying in the middle of the tracks. He could not stop in time, but when he finally stopped the train, he realized it wasn't a deer, but the remains of Vera Jo. Somehow, some way, she was able to maneuver her body with, like, just so broken. But she was able to maneuver her body in a fetal position that if the train did her, it wouldn't destroy her. And it wouldn't mince her up like they had hoped, which is a good thing. I just don't know how she did it. Train conductor notified police. Sherry decided that, we'll just say she had a black boyfriend in a nearby town who probably killed her. Vera was faithful to Zach, and she couldn't have had another boyfriend. She was never out of the house. Searching the house, police found Nicole's bloody shirt, her belt, and a lock of Vera's hair. She and Danny confessed to killing Vera, claiming that Sherry wanted them to do it and had given them instructions on how to commit the murder. Everyone in the Brooks household except Sherry and her husband, Kevin, were charged in Vera's murder. Danny was sentenced 40 years to life for murder. And Nicole was sentenced to 23 years on a conviction for conspiracy to commit murder. Zachary received a whole 4 years in prison for obstruction of justice. Michael was charged with obstruction of justice, sentenced to 30 days in jail and 5 years probation. Brooks' family, minus Danny and Nicole, remain in the same home in Findlay. Zachary met another woman in 2015, fathered another child in 2015. He was arrested in 2020 and sent to prison on convictions of receiving stolen property, felonious assault. He was sentenced to 4 years and expected to be released November of 2024. Sherry, Scotty, and Kevin were busted on drug trafficking charges. Sherry spent 40 months in federal prison. She was out in 2019. Yeah, here it is. It was rumored Sherry died in 2021. Willadine was adopted the week after her mommy's murder. Sherry attempted to claim she had custody of her, but this fell through with social services. Under Sherry's instance, Zachary filed a petition for custody of Willadine. But during a visit with Zachary to determine placement, Willadine was hysterical, refused to go near him. Zachary refused any more visits with Willadine and refused to take parenting classes. State of Ohio revoked Zachary's parenting rights, and a loving family adopted Willadine less than a year later. So hopefully she's good. The day after Vera's murder, cops were looking for information, looking for clothes, looking for anything for her. And the cop found a note that said, "I love you, Willadine. You're a good little baby girl to us. I'm glad to be your mommy, and I'm glad that I had you on November 4th at 4:16 a.m. 6 pounds, 2 ounces, 19 inches long. Mommy loves you." After everything was said and done, the cop actually gave that note to the adoptive family. And I'm just glad that all the kids are long done with them. Probably because they didn't have a choice. Hey, Grandma Rose. Crazy. But that's the case in a nutshell. Someone donated a headstone years ago to Vera or Sherry. But I can't get this case out of my head. I mean, what a sick fucking family. And then this I found in my search. Hold on. Where is it? It looked like the Facebook group back from 2015 was actually really good. But this group had posted something that kind of summed everything up. Now I can't find it. Here it is. Here, not what I was looking for. Here's the headstone you guys are talking about. There's a headstone. But there was a whole list that this girl gave.
So I'm about to fight somebody with a phone in their hand. Well, I'm not fighting you, heard some shit. Put the phone down. You can't do that? You don't think I want to do that? Huh?
Yeah, take this.
You gonna pull a fucking knife?
Get it.
You gonna pull a fucking knife?
Get it.
What?
I don't got no beef.
Get it.
You're gonna stab me. See, where I come from is fist to fist, not a little bitch game.
No, it's not really showing much. She had all the highlights, but I wasn't this far down at all. I don't know where it was. She had a whole list, like highlight bullet points, and now I can't find it. He looks like someone that was made out of incest. I think Garth is the tallest at 5'6". Yeah, I don't know where this thing was. That was Vera. You're like, just
The
look at
cases,
her.
she lost custody, at least in part.
Like, why did they not take the children to begin with?
Which was Joshua, Michael, Maria, and little Sherry, was all taken away from me.
In 3 of the cases, she lost custody, at least in part, due to reports of sexual abuse.
My sister was coming over to pick her up, wanted to take her out to her house. And the railroad tracks was right beside her house. So there was a train going by. She didn't hear my sister knocking. And she was even hollering out Sherry's name. And Sherry didn't answer. And she said when she walked in there, Sherry was supposed to be giving the little baby bathtub thing there. And she was holding the baby up like this here, sucking its penis.
She's sick enough that she even molested me when I was younger.
Sherry's first 5 children were not removed as a group. She would have one, lose it to CPS, then have another, over and over and over.
I seen her more attached when the baby girl was born than when she was with the boy.
But in the spring of 1987, Sherry reverted to her old ways, and things went horribly wrong.
My brother one night called me up saying that we needed to take the baby to the hospital, that she had been molested. She was bleeding from the vagina.
Somebody had raped our little Maria, because when she went to change her diaper, she was all bloody down there.
That night, Sherry reclaimed her baby, but the authorities were on her trail.
Well, genius, I don't think it happened out of nowhere. I don't think God came down and did it. Like, gee, maybe it's your daughter. Did you ever think? Like, the mentality of these people is like, I just can't. Like, what the fuck? That's a beautiful headstone. Where did she post this? Maybe it was in the beginning. All right, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Sherry had a sex fling with her own cousin, Bixby, and proudly boasted that they were nicknamed the Kissing Cousins. Sherry's first son was the result of their incestual relationship. Sherry originally had a daughter who was only an infant when she was molested. When relatives were changing a diaper, they noticed that blood was leaking out of... What? Oh. They called the authorities, who then decided to have the baby placed in protective services. Instead, Sherry ran off with the baby after telling the authorities her mom kidnapped her. One of Sherry's relatives went to the house for something, knocked on the door with no answer, then went inside and saw Sherry holding one of her sons up in the air, sucking his you-know-what. Her son talks about being, you-know-what, essayed by his mother. I got Dayton in the kitchen. Essayed by his mother. And where are we? I got Dayton on the phone in the kitchen. Or Phoenix. Yeah, went in the house and holding her son up in the air, sucking on his pee-pee. Her son talks about being sexually abused by his mother, Sherry, and is revealed that all 5 of her first kids were taken away by CPS. It is revealed Vera was forced to have sex with all of the male members of the Brooks family. When Vera was pregnant, Sherry forced her to drink the castor oil, so the baby was born on Sherry's birthday instead of a day later. When Vera had her baby, Sherry told everyone that it was her daughter. Vera was not allowed to touch her daughter while Sherry was around. If she did, she would get punched in the face. Vera was forced to rub Sherry's feet daily while Sherry hit her with a stick. Sherry goes on a vulgarity-filled rant about Vera when she talks about hurting her foot. Sherry originally planned to kill Vera months earlier. She told her family she wanted to get Vera drugged up and take her down to the railroad tracks. That's when she passed out. Let the train obliviate her. Sherry came up with a cover story for the cops weeks earlier and coached their sons in advance just in case Vera was killed. Sherry told the two killers, Bixler and Peters, that Vera tried to push her son Punky in front of the car that killed him. Of course, it's proven that Vera was not even there when it happened. On the day of Vera's murder, Bixler stabbed Vera in the leg, and Sherry was jamming her finger. No, it was Nicole. I guess it was Sherry. Sherry was jamming her finger in the hole hours before she was murdered. In the hours before her death, Vera was forced to eat dog shit, had a toilet plunger shoved up her ass, and then raped with a toothbrush. The morning after Vera's murder, Sherry files to get sole custody of Vera's daughter instead of filing a missing person report. Zachary Brooks was originally going to go along with the murderous walk with Vera and the killers, and Sherry stopped him. I'm going to protect the family. Sherry's son Scotty originally told police Vera asked him to come along on the murderous walk, but Bixler pulled a knife on him and told him no. Scotty reveals it was really his brother and Sherry who stopped him from going, not Bixler. Sherry officially told the court that she took sleeping pills hours before the walk and was out cold the next day. In the movie, Sherry describes how Vera was on the porch trying to resist going on her final walk. Her family talks about how when the killers got back, they went up to Sherry's bedroom, hugged her, and they were all laughing about it. Vera was still alive when the killers arranged her body on the tracks for the train to hit her. After they left her for dead, Vera rolled herself off the rails, making the train miss her. Fucking crazy. Just absolutely insane. No, she's not in jail. She's dead now, but she didn't even go to jail. And then I found a news report where she's like crying. She's like, oh, I miss her. I miss her so much. Bitch, shut up. You don't miss her at all. They were so mean. And so it is deranged. I agree. So mean. I just don't understand how someone could do that. I really don't. It's just crazy. Oops. But I just don't get how all of them are not in jail. I don't know if it's a time thing or what. Oh, this was the house. Such a lovely home. I hope nobody's living there now. Someone's saying you can still see a reflection of the face. Well, she didn't die there, so I doubt that. I don't see a reflection. That's a reflection of a building. Crazy. Yeah, this is from a movie. I will not watch John Crimes. Do not even recommend him. Do not talk about him in here. Do not put his name in here. Do not. It will be deleted instantly. And no, I would never give him the pleasure of watching one of his videos. Ever. Yeah, no, they said that they got rid of the house a couple of months after the murder. Crazy. Hey, Marie. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, because these comments were from 2013. Let me go back, Sharon. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's from 2013. I didn't hear of it either until yesterday. It's like the sickest story I've ever heard. And here's the documentary. Good Night, Sugar Babe, The Killing of Vera Jo Reigle. Yeah, but they don't live. They moved out a couple of months after the murder. I don't know where they moved to, but this is crazy, though. No, Cinnamon, there is no coming and going. The man is dead to me. I will not watch him. I will not promote him. He's dead, dead. He can go obsess elsewhere. He's a fraud, a liar, a disgusting, and I just know. I don't care what he puts out. I would never, ever, ever watch him, and I will not allow his name in my chat. And there's very few people that I feel like that way about. He's one of them. I honestly can't even think of somebody that gets me riled up like he does. The mention of his name. I really can't think of one other person. I don't think there is another person. You don't want to know, Marie. Never, Robbie. Never, never, never. So that's it. That's what I have for you guys. My Robbie knows I love him. I love you too. Ash, why'd you gotta get me in this case? I'm happy to know she's dead though. That makes me feel better. Hey, Denise. Yeah, for real, Denise. It's once you see this doc, you just don't forget it. And you don't. It's wild. And I really have. I've been thinking about this case all day. But I guess knowing that she's dead, I feel better. Ash, what do you keep recommending these cases for? Exactly. No ice water. And that's the thing. I don't know if there's really a heaven or hell. I don't know, but I'm just glad she's dead. She can't molest any more people. I know this is going to sound really, really weird, Ash. I don't get into crimes like from the 60s. I don't know why. They just don't interest me at all. I know that sounds like really strange. All right, Sylvia and her sister Jenny were left in the care of a family friend, Gertrude, who tortured Likens to death and got her own children to help. Oh, they're made for TV movies I like. All right, so this is what happened. Hold on, I'll share it. Were treated kindly in the first 2 weeks. They were love bombed. So Gertrude's oldest daughter, 17-year-old Paula, seemed to butt heads with Sylvia. Then 1 week, their father's payment came in. I took care of you two bitches for 2 weeks for nothing. She grabbed Sylvia by the arm, dragged her in a room, and closed the door. Jenny could only sit outside and listen to her sister scream. Money arrived the following day, but the torture had just begun. She chose to abuse them in broad daylight. Yeah, she used a heavy paddle. They did that back in the 60s. Gertrude demanded the join in. Let's take her sister's place. Stealing from her and burned the girl's fingertips. Took her to church function and force-fed her free hot dogs till she was sick. Then she had to eat her own vomit. Wow. They used her skin as an ashtray, threw her downstairs, cut open her skin, and rubbed salt into her wounds. After this, she would often be cleansed in a scalding hot bath. Wow. Forced to strip naked and shove an entire Coca-Cola bottle while the other children watched. Sylvia was so beaten that she was unable to use. I watched a movie like this. The girl was like in the basement. I watched one like this, but the girl survived. Maybe this was it. Sylvia called it. It's got to be this. I'm telling you, I watched a movie like this. There was a boy that helped her or something. Yeah, bothered to find out if it was true. Gertrude told her, I don't care what you do to Sylvia. She invited me over to her home. Yeah, I saw something about this. Yep, I did. I watched a movie about this a long time ago. Sylvia's older sister, Diana, attempted to see the girl under Gertrude's care. Yeah, this sounds just really familiar. But it was a little different. I don't remember a sister. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. She was forced to write that she'd met up with a group of boys and given them sexual favors. And afterward, they'd beat and mutilated her body. I couldn't tell you the name of the movie, though, because it was a long time ago. Police came. Gertrude stuck with a cover story. Sylvia had been out with boys. Police arrested Gertrude, Paula, Stephanie, and John. Richard Coy for murder. Neighborhood participants Mike, Randy, Darlene, Judy, and Anna were also arrested for injury to person. Minors to blame Gertrude for being pressured. Gertrude herself pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. She's not responsible. She was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. She was spared the death penalty despite her own lawyer admitting that. In my opinion, she ought to go to the electric chair. I agree with that.
Can I turn the AC off if it's 79 degrees in here and just pop a window open?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, because like I don't understand how it can be 79 degrees in here.
Yeah, you can turn it off. Wow. I'm telling you, I remember this. I saw like a movie about this, but it was a little different. But the mother, maybe that's what it is, the girl next door. That's probably it. Let me see. Yeah, it was The Girl Next Door, 2007. I knew it was something like, because that sounded really familiar when I was reading it. But I knew the movie I watched wasn't like an old movie. I mean, I knew it was old, but not like from the 60s. So it's, if you want to watch a movie on it, it's The Girl Next Door from 2007. Not the other one. Not the comedy one. I knew that the story sounded familiar. Crazy. Oh no, I'll watch that. I'm just saying that I knew that when I was reading the story, I'm like, I know this. Like I saw a movie about this. That's all I'm saying. Like it was weird. But yeah, that movie is sick. I don't think I realized then it was based on a true story. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I have to watch it again. Crazy. So last thing I want to mention, there's a headline out there that says bone chilling on Brian Koberger. Oh my God. Maybe it was Maddie that was targeted. Like, really? We said that 2 years ago. There's nothing bone chilling or earth shattering about that. But okay. Just more of a reason why this whole community is like, what? The whole world is like, what? Crazy. Okay, I'm getting off though. I didn't plan on staying on long. But Crystal tells me I have to be consistent. So I said 8:30. I was had to go live. All because Crystal says it. By the way, I got wax in today. I got all my wax in. I got a couple of scents in, which I really don't need, but I was testing them. And that's it. I'm going to be melting down a bunch of wax for wax melts. And we're going to do a giveaway for wax melts. And that's it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. It is Crystal's fault. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. Because again, Chris says I need to be consistent. So I'm going to prove to her that that's not the problem. But I'm going to do it her way. So she can't bitch at me and tell me, well, you didn't try it. You didn't do it. You're right. So now I'm going to do it. So, all right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to my amazing mods. And thank you, Ash, for this incredible story. And I'll see beautiful people tomorrow. All right. Peace.